Dun, 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 dun. It's Crypto Night in Canada. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We got Ken with us in the house tonight. And returning for another episode is our friend Mark. How are you guys?
We're good.
I'm good. I'll be right back. I got to stir my spaghetti.
Oh, Ken's stirring his spaghetti. That's fun. Hey, everybody.
Awesome.
We have Dan, we have MC, which I know is Marie Claude, I think, and Redbeard's in the house. I saw Candace, and I think, was it Dan that said he was here first?
Dan was here first.
Dan was here
I was
first.
second. Ken was third.
Oh, we got Dave in the house.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, it is exciting tonight. There's lots of crypto news going on. Oh, and there's Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
How you doing?
And so
nice podcast today.
Yeah. So Mark, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh,
Loving life. Loving life, man.
Exciting times.
It is exciting times. It's time to we'll have some chit chats about this and that, but it's always interesting to I think I've done a big change in our approach to everything in investing. So that'll probably sort of unravel itself throughout the program.
I think maybe we should even really start with that, because for a few weeks there, I was really unclear what we should be doing, like really stuck and really unclear with where we should be going and what we should be doing. And so we kind of amalgamated a bunch of our crypto. We've kept a few really, really good projects that we believe in. And for the first time ever, we bought some silver. So we're like trying to divest a little bit. And so we got a little bit of intel and info on there. I know Mark, and we'll get to both you and Ken, and Neil will be joining us shortly. Have you changed your position at all in the last little bit, or have you just doubled down on what you were already thinking?
Yeah, no, I haven't changed my position at all. My bags are packed and ready for takeoff. So we'll see where it goes. I've kind of made my position. So I think maybe, well, it would have been about a few months ago now that I kind of consolidated. I did the consolidation thing, and I picked my few cryptos that I was going to be in. I don't think it's any secret. XRP is my biggest holding. So, XRP, ADA. I have a little bit of Ethereum, and OMI is my long term. Like, it's just, I forgot about it. It's sitting.
I do too. I always forget about that. It's like,
I haven't forgotten about it.
It's like, oh yeah, I got that too, because as you said, you're consolidating, right? So yeah. I finally out of Binance. I am not on Binance anymore.
We did it.
I couldn't figure out for the life of me. The only thing that was left on there was Theta. And when I was trying to get it off, I wasn't thinking clearly for some reason. It was going to cost me like $225-ish in gas to get the bloody thing off. Figured out that I should change it to, what the hell did I do? I changed it. I got rid of Theta. Gone.
Oh, you could have went ahead and transferred it to a Theta wallet.
No. What I did, but I forgot my keywords.
Make a new one.
He forgot. Yeah, he forgot.
I didn't know how to do that, and I'm getting this message from Binance going, you got 3 days left. You got 2 days left. It's like, oh shit, I've got to get stuff out of here. So I converted it on Binance to XRP and got it out in XRP, and I just improved my position more in XRP with that. My Theta went to XRP.
That works. Yeah. Hey, you took a winner. You took a winner, sold it, and put it into another winner. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So we're feeling a little better about things. Like I know that Ken, you've got how many coins? Are you in a lot of different coins, or are you in primarily a handful?
10-ish, somewhere around 10.
Okay, and how do you manage all 10 of those? Because this was where Tim and I were really struggling, was trying to understand how to keep our fingers on the pulse of all the projects and knowing when to stay long and when to come out. Like, that was where we were getting slightly confused.
Well, I still use Binance for just to see what the price is going to be. I'm also using some other app, Zerion, and you can put your Ethereum address into it, and it'll show you all your coins. It'll show you exactly how they're doing every day, and it'll give you the value of them. So I use those two tools to just keep an eye. Like the last thing I bought was the Ryoshi Vision. I bought that like a week ago. Yeah. And it 3x'd on me. I didn't sell because it's a new coin. I thought, well, I'll just wait. Now it's dropped down. It's 2x, but Ethereum has also gone down as well. So yeah, I'm thinking it's not a holder issue. I'm thinking it's following the trend of the Ethereum.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. And I bought some Satama as well.
What's that project all about?
It's about education or something like that. I was reading about it. They had an Ask Me Anything live with the developers and everything. Yep. It's a good project if it gets off the ground.
Nice.
Okay, good.
It's in baby stages still. So
yep.
They're talking about coming out with a DEX and a wallet actually pretty soon for it. So it's growing quite quickly. They want to get it onto Binance, but they need what the hell was it? 200,000 wallets opened or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of their core components in order to list a coin. So
interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's from when we were talking and doing this all back in the winter spring stuff, where we were pretty, we hardly talked about stocks, and I think it was divulged to the community that we had stocks in QBTC and QETH and BTCC and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, we have a substantial holding in stocks as well. But I looked at the wins just end of last week and this week of my crypto stocks and what was in the green, and I was sort of in a net gain of a substantial amount of money. I cashed them out.
No, you just moved them over to something else.
So I cashed them in, and I went into a dividend stock, Enbridge or Atco. And so I'm not out of the stocks. It's now allowed me to be able to do that and to buy more of a position in dividend stocks as well. So, and now I'm starting to do a little bit of silver, the gold. I don't know about that because we went and bought, with our bank's program, we have a free safety deposit box. It looked really teeny. I don't think I could even put a Big Mac in it. You know what I mean? And it was like,
we would have to have a hell of a lot of gold and silver to fill that box up. He is exaggerating. He's exaggerating. Anyways, yes, you are exaggerating. Anyways, but we know you enough now, Ken, to know that you seem to jump into a lot of the really early and newish projects.
Yeah, thanks to Shiba, because I was just like, oh wow, if this can do it, other ones can do it too. But I wait and see what the team's about. Like I do my due diligence, and I search the web for the team, make sure they're real people, see what stuff they've been into before, what their goal is, and if that goal is actually obtainable. Because there's a lot of coins out there that have an awesome goal, but if you actually think about it, is it really obtainable? Or are they just trying to get a coin on the market, make a couple of bucks, and then dump it off to somebody else, right? Just abandon the project, right? So
I do not want to be rug pulled. Trust me, I've got too much invested in this on both sides of the equation for investments that I do. I don't think I can get rug pulled in stocks. Pretty unlikely that's going to happen. But you pay your money. If you can't do the crime, or time don't do the crime, as Beretta used to say.
I know, but
with cryptocurrencies, and that's why I think that's made me sort of feel a bit better in paring down my program in what we were invested in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had money all over in stupid little stuff, and it was like,
Yeah, we're feeling much better than we were about 2 weeks ago, where I was just like, and I still feel that the economic climate is incredibly confusing, and now there's a bunch of other stuff that honestly, with what's happening in Afghanistan and a bunch of that, and now the Canadian election and all that sort of jazz, I'm really still unclear where the economy is going, but I'm feeling in a better position. So for all of our wonderful viewers tonight, how are you feeling? Are you guys feeling like you got yourself where you want to be? Are you changing things up like we did? Are you divesting or rejigging things?
That's a great question, because I think I've caught a couple of streams here and there about that, and it seems that some people are, because it's been so, boring, so sideways, so it's just been kind of like in the bushes, this whole crypto market, that it would be interesting to know if you have actually reduced your positions in crypto, and have you taken that and put it into the stocks, or are you just sitting in a cash position? So for the viewership that's out there in the community, it'd be good to know what you've kind of done with that.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that.
I think the other thing that I'd be curious to know, because I think this is a huge part of it, especially right now at this time, is, has anyone really given serious thought to an exit strategy? And no matter how many coins that they're holding, and you could have different exit strategy based on different coins, but I think, we always kind of laugh and joke around about Dogecoin or whatever, but there was an opportunity there, which I was able to capitalize on, not a huge amount, but, I made a few $1,000, $3,000-$4,000 on it when it jumped to, the last time it jumped to like 38 cents, and I cashed out, and it kept going all the way up to 60. But the one thing that I've learned is that in this market, it can go haywire overnight. And I think we've all seen it. And if you don't have an exit strategy, you have this tendency to get stuck into the euphoria of, oh my God, look at this green candle. It's going up. It's going up. It's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. And then all of a sudden the bottom falls out and it starts going down, and you keep thinking it's going to go back up, and it just keeps falling and falling and falling. And then you're at the bottom, and all of a sudden what you do is you say, oh my God, I have to stop the losses. I'm pulling out now. And then all of a sudden, then it turns around and starts going back up again, and you can't get back in at the level that you were at. So for me, I have a strategy, and I've talked to you guys about this on several occasions, but that's one of the reasons I reduced my position in other coins, because I wanted to focus in on 2-3 coins, have a serious strategy of, this is what I'm holding in at. If it gets to this point, no matter where it goes, if it hits this number, I'm out, and I'm following it to a T.
Yeah,
I think that's the hard part. Setting a plan up's easy, but actually following through, I think that's where a lot of people stumble, because you get hit with the what if.
Right.
What if this 2x is tomorrow? What if this 4x is in 3 days?
And sorry. You know what are you doing, for God's sake? Leave the keyboards alone.
Tim and I are having some technical things.
No, I'm not. I've got total control of
Yes,
this.
you are. You're dinging my thing down. There's stuff happening back here.
It's called a power washer.
Oh, geez.
I
know you've lost your train of thought, but Candace is saying she's reduced her crypto position. I was putting everybody's comments in, and because I think we're all kind of just having to jockey and vie for a position, and I think we've put ourselves in a place now where we can exit quite quickly into more of a cash position, depending on what happens. And
I think Hi Rye made a good point too. He reduced his position, but he also is keeping a cash ready to deploy. So I think that's one of the things that's part of my strategy as well, is that I have a short term, like, here are my short term strategies, and this is what's gonna, like, when I had a few more coins, like with Dogecoin or whatever, it was a very short term play. So I was literally saying, if it goes 10, 15%, 20%, I'm out and I'm cashing out and taking that money, putting it elsewhere. But I also have a little bit of cash set aside just so that if something does move rapidly and I want to enter it and enter in that position, you have the cash there to do it. A lot of times what happens is when I first got into it, you get so excited and you're dumping money into all these projects because you think they're all going to go to the moon. And then when other opportunities happen, you have no money to invest.
Yeah.
And I think it's an important piece to it too, that you always have to have a little bit of cash subsidy to pounce when it's available too.
Yeah. I would say the other thing to that point, Mark, is that it honestly, rejigging some things and rethinking and having an exit strategy does help you have peace of mind in this space for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I sit there and I put a lot of thought into it. And, here's the thing, like I'm just going to speak openly about XRP. If you look at XRP and you look at YouTube right now, YouTube's exploding. You got the biggest Bitcoin maximalist YouTube channel, Bitbuy Crypto. He's all over XRP now all of a sudden. He's so excited. He's invested heavy into XRP. It's going to the moon. He's going crazy with it. We're going to have it go in a rocket ship, and it's at least $15. It might go to 30, might go to 50. Look, I'm telling you, I have my plan. I'm going to be out of it before 15. So that's my plan. Whatever happens after that, I'll always have a little bit of XRP. But I've said this before. Cryptocurrency is risky business, and you, up until this point, unless you cash out and you have real Canadian currency, you can't do too much with it. Like, being honest, like there's not a lot we can do with it.
Yeah.
So I would rather have, my opportunity to cash out, take it into Canadian funds, invest in real estate, invest in silver, invest in gold, invest in whatever. Yeah.
So Ken and Mark, have you, when you, at the beginning of your journey into crypto, I'd say crypto because that's what we're sort of talking about tonight. Did you get schooled on the fact of you waited for it to go to the top and got greedy and just waited and then you missed? Did you ever have a transaction like that?
Okay, so just,
you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I think anybody who's been in this now for at least 3 months, 6 months, they've had that experience. And for me, it was actually with XRP, with the last jump that it had when it went up to $1.90 or whatever. And when it hit $1.90, I thought, maybe I should cash some of this out, because it was a substantial increase from what I bought it at, and I didn't. And then it started to fall, and I kept saying, it's going to go back up. It's not going to fall below 150. Then it fell below 150. It's not going to fall below 130. Then it fell below one, and it just keeps falling and falling and falling. And then I started feeling like, okay, I'm not moving. I'm not moving any of my holdings because I just, now I'm going to be in for the long haul. And I think this is where the difference is with me and with some other people that might be in the space that don't have an exit strategy. When it got to that point, I'm like, that's okay. It's sitting there. I'm not moving it until it hits those numbers.
Right.
And when it hits those numbers, then I have increments and how I'm going to move it. But if it doesn't, I'll just wait until when it does hit, because I have a belief that it will hit. It just may not hit like Bitbuy Crypto seems to think.
Well, and that's what so
the one that got his
natural
his YouTube deleted twice already.
Oh, geez. Yeah, Natural Canadian is saying that his sources are telling him mid-September. Now, Mark, I know you follow XRP like crazy,
but
I've actually tuned in to the hearings. Like, I've actually been on the phone and actually heard the actual hearings, which has been quite interesting.
I think what you just said is very, very important for the people watching this, because we do not know
our individual net worth into cryptocurrencies. It's not the right question to ask. It's whatever.
No.
But regardless, it's our hard-earned money that we've put in there. And talking about an exit strategy and talking about the fact that it's really easy to ride high on the greed until you frig it up.
Yeah.
And then you're pooched. And it's like, for everyone listening here, or everyone who's listening to a replay of this, hit the like and subscribe button, by the way. It's so important not to get greedy, especially in times like this, to have an exit strategy. For God's sake, use CoinGecko or one of those platforms that sets alerts when there's a price change of 5%, 10%, 20%, up or down. Up, great. That's great. Yahoo. But it's when it's going down, and it's during your day where you may not be near a computer and it may be on your phone. And it's like, you need to, and again, it's depending on how much you've invested and how big your investment is. But I'm just saying, prepare yourself. Mark Ken have brought up some really good points about, get, as much as we're getting ready for this bear or this bull, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Right. We need to prepare ourselves for the exit strategy based on whatever way the animal swings.
I think there's another thing to this, and it's a psychological piece. And Mark, you and I, when we talked, I think last week when Tim and I were deciding to make our big change and our big move, and you were talking to me about, and we were really walked through, because of your exit strategy, you're going to do a tiered approach out. And I go, yeah, but what if it goes up? What if it goes up? What if it goes up? And then you said to me, psychologically, you have to psych yourself up for being okay when it hits this, because this is the goal. This is where you're trying to go. And if it goes beyond that, that's okay, because you've made your money. And where we have to stop as a group of us that talk about this all the time is, I was in that theta. I should have stayed in the theta. I know I should have. I still believe in that project. I still believe in that project. And I still believe in VeChain. And I still believe in a lot of the things that we were investing. I know, but my point on it is that we honestly, it was becoming hard to track. And I was worrying about missing the boat, because we both got busier at work. It was different when you weren't working as much and you could keep your eye on what was going on. We both are much busier at work. Much. Yeah.
And I think, this, I don't know if I'm going to butcher this saying, but it's something that it sticks with me all the time. You don't go broke by taking profit. So, it's one of those things. Some of your viewers, they know that I also am pretty into sports gambling, and that is kind of an interesting segue with regards to crypto. But one of the things that I do with sports gambling, I do with crypto, and that is on Bet365, which is a booking site that I use to book bets. If you do a thing called a parlay, so you might bet on 3 games, but all 3 games have to win for you to win your money. So on Bet365, after you win the first 2 games, they actually propose to you, do you want to cash out early? And it's oftentimes something that people don't take advantage of, but you're basically sitting there with profit. And instead of saying, no, I'll take the profit now, you sit there and wait. And then the next thing you know is the next game falls apart and you lose everything. So it's kind of the same thing with crypto, that's how I base my entire exit strategy. If XRP goes to the moon, I'll have a small bag of XRP that'll ride it all the way to the moon. And that'll be wonderful. But I have my plan in place with that and ADA and OMI and everything else, that it's as soon as it hits specific numbers, I'm out. The other thing is that I watched this guy on YouTube, and he spoke at length about the last bull run and how he wanted to get out at the very top. It kind of went really high. I think it was Bitcoin he was talking about. It went really high, and he wanted to get out. He was trying to go to the exchange to cash out. The exchanges were crashing because everybody was trying to cash out at the same time. And so he said the same thing. He's like, just make it like you're like at a hockey game. If you wait to the very end of a hockey game and you try to leave, you're going to be waiting a long time in the parking lot to get out. So
true.
So
True.
So do you want to leave 5 minutes early and take all your money with you? Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of part of the strategy. So
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to let the our viewers kind of decide on the couple of topics that we could banter around about tonight. So I've got a couple, and one is Tom Brady and his NFT. I know Mark Lazarick would like to talk about this.
Whoa.
Just a second. I'm going to put them out. We can talk about Palantir's buys gold, takes a big position in gold. We can talk about the true cost of what's really happening in Afghanistan. And we can continue to talk about the crazy labor shortages. I have more food stories that are not good.
So, Mark,
Candace is calling inflation.
Yeah, well, you know. If Panda Bear was here, it'd be H-bar. You know?
Oh, boy.
So, Mark, when it comes time to Tampa playing the Patriots, who are you betting?
Oh, my gosh.
So first of all, for those of you who want to know, I am desperately hoping the borders are going to be open so I can actually drive to Foxborough to watch the game. But if they're not, I'm going to pay an exorbitant amount of money to fly to Boston to go watch the game. That I'm not going to bet on that game because I'm going to be cheering for Tom Brady, but obviously I don't want him to win. So
okay, wait, is Foxborough in Boston? Is that the Boston?
Yeah, that's where the Patriots play.
Hey, listen, when you drive over there, can I hitch a ride? My bestie's in Boston right now, so
absolutely.
There you go. So Candace wants to talk about inflation. Does anybody else have a preference about what we talk about? Oh.
If we go to what's happening overseas, we must, because of YouTube algorithms and words, refer to who has taken over the power as TB. Whenever we want to use that word, it's
and
TB.
We could talk about TB as in his NFT as well. We could have TB.
Oh.
Wow, that was. I don't think he wants to be associated with that.
I was just about to say, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Put the cufflinks on me. Take me away.
Okay, so nobody has any preference, not except for Candace. Well,
I don't know that we didn't really talk about this. Sunday was the 50th anniversary of the US dollar coming off the gold standard, which is fairly interesting. Yes, Len, I have shaken. I'm on day 39.
Day 39!
And Ryan, Lee, I'm coming for you, buddy.
There you go. Okay, so, let's talk a bit about, because I love the story about Tom Brady and his NFT platform that he's developing. And so can we talk about that? I'm very curious to find out if Mark knows anything about Tom Brady's new venture.
I know absolutely nothing, so I'm all ears.
Well, I think Tom Brady and a whole host of NFL guys and NCAA guys are even Olympic athletes and ladies and men sports. I think you're going to see a whole host of these NFTs starting to come out. But the thing that I heard on ESPN the other day, which I thought was this is kind of like where I always thought it would go, is they're calling them semi-fungible tokens. So, yeah. And I think this is where the rubber hits the road and where it's really going to go, is that, okay, you have a semi-fungible token. So you have Tom Brady's jersey that you actually can purchase, and it's a tangible item, but it comes with a non-fungible piece as well. And whatever that is, whether that's the image of him throwing a touchdown in the Super Bowl or some iconic image that happened during his career. I think that's where this whole show is going, like with the NFT space.
Well, his new platform is called Autograph, in case anybody's wanting to follow it along. And it's the non-fungible token platform co-founded by the National Football League star Tom Brady. And he has signed partnerships with entertainment companies Lionsgate, sports betting firm DraftKings. Brady's platform has also signed exclusive multi-year NFT deals with iconic sports star Tiger Woods, Wayne Gretzky, Derek Jeter, Naomi Osaka, and Tony Hawk, who will join Autograph's advisory board. Autograph's NFT content will be sold on DraftKings digital marketplace, according to announcement Wednesday. And Autograph is slated to launch this summer. Brady tweeted about his deals signed below. So anyway, so just it's really kind of cool and interesting that they're excuse me, put us on mute, Tim. So,
this is good TV. This is good TV.
There's no pause.
oh my gosh, it just went down the wrong airway.
Did it?
Yes.
How many airways do you have?
Oh, stop it.
It could have been worse. You could have been eating beans for dinner.
Yeah. Oh boy, let's not talk about that. That was a dad joke. But I think these guys are all starting to take back their own intellectual beings and their intellectual property. And you all know how bullish I am on Anthony Pompliano, and I absolutely love his new show called The Best Business Show. I swear to God, we could just talk about the stuff he posts because it's so interesting to me. And so this was one of the things he talked about today was this whole Tom Brady. Anyways.
That's it? You just drop it like that? That's it? That's it.
Well, because Marie Claude made a nice, I saw my name in the comments section. That's why. Anyway, so I just
drive thought, like this?
Yes, I do. I very much do. Listen, you just have to keep up with what's going on in my brain.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone on this channel has actually purchased an NFT. I would actually like to know if there's a person on this channel that has actually purchased.
Maybe
Neil did.
Neil did. Neil did.
Neil's purchased.
When he comes on, I'm sure he'll talk about it.
To bed.
Yeah. I think he talked about, he was even trying to get the DeLorean.
No, it wasn't. Who was talking about horse racing?
That was him.
That was Neil, yeah.
Yeah. So when he comes on, we'll ask him the question. But
because for me, I can't. Like, this is the thing, is that I still don't understand the value of an NFT. Like, and I'm in the crypto space as you know, and love sports, but I wouldn't buy a digital NFT sport of anything, like even of my favorite sports moment or anything. I would buy an actual, like, whatever they're going to call it, the semi NFT or whatever they're going to call it. I would buy like a piece of merchandise that has an NFT attached to it. I could see that being of value.
Okay, so speaking of that, I know not everybody loves Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, but he was also on Pomp's show yesterday, and he was talking about he wants to NFT all of his watches. So he's into the collecting of watches, and they're all one of a kind, and he's tried to get insurance for some of these things, but it's really difficult and so on and so forth. So he's looking into, with all other rare watch collectors, making all these watches have a part of it, even though it's a physical watch, also having an NFT attached to it. And I think we're going to see more and more of this. I think this is where real estate is going to go. I think this is where a lot of that stuff is going to,
But if you enter that NFT, the timing has to be right.
That was a dad joke. I almost asked you why.
It took me about 10 seconds to clue.
I know, I'm
in
looking
there,
at
man.
Mark
I
going,
was like,
hello? Is this on? Hello?
Yeah. No, it's really crazy. But, like, I just think that it's only just scratching the surface of what Like right now, all that they're doing with these NFTs, in my opinion, is just proof of work, right? They're just proving that it would work.
I'd say proof of ownership and proof of purchase, right? I think I read earlier VV is coming out with NFT. Well, they make NFTs, but I think they're doing comic books next.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
So that's kind of more like Ryan should be able to get his head around an NFT that way. If it's a comic book that you're purchasing, and then like I said, movies and music is going to come that way. So it's going to show that you have the ownership rights to that particular song or that particular movie that you've paid for it, kind of thing, So it'll help with piracy. I can see it really helping with piracy.
Well, and the other part too, it goes back to who makes a ton of money on concerts and stuff are all those scalpers. Now, if they try to resell in the future, if we go to future state, if they try to resell tickets, they'll be able to, but the originator will get a cut from whatever it is they're selling. And that, to me, makes a lot of sense. Intellectual property, that somebody has spent a lot of time putting that stuff together. Anyway, just my opinion. All righty. The other thing that was sort of in the news, have you guys got any other news before I jump into something else?
Nope.
Why are you shaking your head?
You asked me a question.
Do you have nothing else to say?
No.
I haven't really looked at my phone at all today. I was too busy, so I have no idea. I just caught the VV thing at like 7 o'clock.
I got a question for you. Have you ever dropped it in one of those toilets?
Have I ever what?
Dropped your phone in the toilet?
No.
In a toilet that you're servicing?
Have I dropped my toilet? No.
No,
Yes.
Have you what?
Have I pulled phones out of toilets? Yes.
Oh, have people called you and asked you to do that?
Yeah. I found a toilet. I found a phone in a toilet on a golf course the one time, and I thought, oh, this is cool. I'll just let it dry out, and it was like a brand new iPhone or some stupid thing. You can take it to one of those machines where you put your phone in and they'll give you a value of it and they'll pay you out or whatever. The guy called and he wanted his phone back, even though it didn't work. So I had to turn it in. But we find that a lot. Apparently at concerts, you find loose change, you find money everywhere.
Tell me you're not
kinds of stuff.
Picking the change out of the
not out of the toilet, around the toilet.
Around the toilet, I can understand.
That's a true shit coin.
And you're talking and everything. You're going to use the toilet. Not picking. I don't pick pennies out of a fountain. Come on now.
What if they're just on the surface? Do you kind of have that urge to kind of just?
Yeah, it's like,
that is great.
Holy shit, I need that loony.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
It's a floater. Yeah, it's a floater.
Oh, boy.
Didn't know loonies could float. Well, it's what's under it that's keeping it afloat.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, that was pretty good. So Candace is saying inflation was a big story in the news today. Did anybody catch anything?
3.7%, I think I read on Global.
Yeah.
Oh, at least they're moving it up the scale. But is that even realistic?
No.
Oh, no. That's just what they want the public to know.
How is that realistic when you get the odd raise that's only 2%? Like, I mean, you're still down just on that announcement, 1.7%. It's
so I have a few inflation stories because I know everybody likes my inflation stories somewhat. This one, and I can't say which companies it is because I'm not sure I'm allowed to divulge this, but I will tell you that a very, 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 very large coffee company who sells to-go coffee, I'm not going to say which one, but a very, very large one, they have a facility in the U.S. and they had 100 people not show up for work.
Whoa.
And then just not come back to work. So when 1 week, 100 people just didn't show up, and that affects not just U.S. production, but also Canadian production of coffee roasting and things like that. So this is getting more and more serious. There's another very large hamburger company, and they do some self-distribution, and so they have it where if you have to place an order on Monday for or Sunday for a Monday delivery, you may or may not get your delivery from their self-op, not from one of our distribution centers. You may or may not get their delivery on the Friday, and they're only 80% of the products that they order are showing up due to labor shortages. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. It has not improved. Would you say, Mark, it's improved?
Oh no, I would say it's not improving. I'd say it's falling apart further.
Yeah. We're anyways. So yes. So I'm feeling slightly concerned that as it falls further and further, and there was a company in the US, because I was talking to our US head office today, there was a company in the US that took $1 million and took it right in to their manufacturing facility and was walking around offering people bonus money to stay on for additional time. Like they were going to give them cash right there at the time, and offered them to pay them additional cash for next week in advance. They still couldn't keep people.
No. Hyra made a comment there about Serb and Trudeau saying he's likely to extend business protections. It's interesting that he brought that up. I was at a dinner with a person that I used to do business with a while back, and he has a very large, I would say he's a medium-sized business, but he competes with large corporate operations. And I was blown away because this person said, they are a staunch conservative, but they're leaning liberal, and the reason they're leaning liberal is because they need free money. Like it's taken such an impact on their business that they actually need the free money. They can't take any more loans out. They need the free money to keep things kind of going. And I keep thinking to myself, like, Trudeau came out and called the snap election because he thinks he's going to win. I think they have some pretty good intel that they've set themselves up to buy a majority government. Yeah. And what's that going to do to Canada? I mean, I don't know. They tend to be spending a lot of money, and our debt load is getting higher and higher. Sooner or later, someone's got to pay the bill. Like sooner or later.
Well, and see, that was a question I had today with a client of mine who is anyway. He used to be he's off right now. He is a financial planner, I think, with CIBC or stuff. I said, at what point? How can they continue, Canada, US, whoever, continue to print? What has to take place for that to no longer work? And he couldn't answer it.
Well, the problem is, I want to answer Marie Claude on this one. She says she doesn't understand the relation between inflation and people not showing up to work. So what's going to happen, Marie Claude, is companies, manufacturers, let's not even talk about us in distribution. Let's just talk about people who manufacture things. They manufacture bread. They could do cans of soup. We can take it. It doesn't matter which manufacturing we're talking about, but let's talk about food because that's the area I know. When you have people not show up for work and you have no labor, now all of a sudden your production drops down. You can't produce as much, and the demand hasn't changed. We haven't drastically lost a ton of people in the society. The demand for those products and goods are still high. Well, now we're going to have to pay workers a lot more money just to try to get people in the building to produce these goods, because we're at an inflection point where we don't have technology firmly in place to run it all. You still need staff to come and do things. But this will force the hand. What will happen is right now, this will the scale will tip and innovation will happen because we're going to be forced for it to happen. We can't not have food. We can't not have food. Like, I'm not sure people understand this. We can't not have food. We must eat. So if you can't get workers to do those jobs, for whatever reason, and they're going to keep trying for in the short run, they're just going to keep throwing more cash at it to try to get people in the buildings to produce the food. So what will happen is no company will absorb all of that. A company's mandate is to produce income for their shareholders, because a lot of people that watch this channel and are investing in the stock market, and the whole reason you would invest in the stock market, in theory, is to companies that actually make a profit, and so you can make a profit as a shareholder. So they will pass that cost of labor right on to the end goods. And that's what bumps the inflation up. That becomes that our dollar doesn't buy as much as it used to. So where you're going to start to see, we have a notification, was it last week, Mark, that Bacher House was shorting out, like we weren't going to get any Bacher House products. That's bread. That's right. Bread. Like this is no joke. Like what's happening is no joke. They don't have staff. They're not, and it's not just them, but then I'm going to give you an example of, you can't just change formulas of products. So let's talk about maybe let's use a hypothetical company. We won't use a real company, but maybe somebody that manufactures soup. Choose any name you want. They manufacture soup. They might be able to get the tomato. They might be able to get the chicken stock. They might be able to get the carrots and the celery. But if they put some spices in there to make their formula or their soup, like, taste that way, and they have UPC codes, they have everything, they have labels, they have everything ready to go, all those ingredients have to be in that batch for them to sell it, because there's allergens in there, there's all this sort of stuff, right? If they're missing like some of those key ingredients, because it's sitting on containers coming from overseas, and now a container that used to cost $6,000 in freight, because of the container shortages, now those containers are costing $20,000. So not only do they not have the ingredients that they need to continue to make the actual soup, but when they actually get that ingredient into the country, then that product they have to raise the price of it. So it's a raw good product. It's a shipping product. And I'm not sure if anybody's seen the price of gas. That affects all goods being moved around. It affects all goods. So not only are you paying more for labor, you're paying more to ship the stuff around, you're paying more for the raw ingredients that go into anything. And so all that translates into price for these goods that you would think, it used to be you could get a can of soup for 99 cents. Those days are gone. No, those days are gone.
Yeah, agreed. And so all those little things, the cost of living is just drastically increasing, and people don't see it. Like, it's the whole putting a frog in cold water and turning the heat up, and it's just sitting there waiting for impending doom and not realizing what's happening. And that's where we're in right now.
Yeah. So, and Rick, our friend Rick says, people are working for less, though. He's talking about that. People are working for less. And it doesn't matter at this point how much money they throw at these folks, because honestly, they're still going to get hurt, because to go and buy a loaf of bread is going to cost that much more. It's going to cost exponentially more. And so, this is where we're seeing it firsthand, and we're trying to say it. And the reason that we're hitting it, it's hitting us first in food distribution, is because retail, which would include grocery stores, haven't been hit quite as hard yet, because when the pandemic first happened, most manufacturers had to quickly pivot and shift to where they could move product. I want you to think about, I hope nobody's squeamish on these things, but like, think about cattle or even a hog. If you harvest a hog and you make it into products for sale, those products only last for so long. So in 18 months ago, they would have known, we call it forecasting. They would have known approximately how much bacon to produce for food service and how much bacon to produce for retail. And they package it for retail and they package it for food service. The second that everything shut down, Now, all of a sudden, all these manufacturers had these ginormous cases of bacon that they couldn't do anything with. And so no manufacturer wants to get stuck with all that product, because even this is a frightening thing to say, but we were giving away millions and millions and millions of dollars of food to the food bank in Ontario at the start of COVID, and they had to tell us to stop because the food was going rotten in their facilities too. They couldn't get it out to people fast enough. That's how bad the situation was. So all these manufacturers can't pivot quite quickly. That's why it's affecting us in the food service side of things more than you're seeing it on retail. But the manufacturers that manufacture for food also manufacture for retail. They're the same manufacturers. Maple Leaf produces stuff for Sobeys and Zehrs and you name it. They produce for that, but they also produce for us and for larger restaurants. You can jump in, guys. I'm on a rant. I know I'm on a rant.
Well, we do waste a lot of food. What if we changed our habits on how we eat and how much we consume? What if we decided to buy from the local farmer and the local market instead of the supermarket? That way you're buying stuff locally that's locally grown in your area.
That works in the summer months.
But
what about that?
But I think, and I'm not stereocasting anyone, but there are a lot of people on lower incomes that go and just buy their food takeout, and that's their life.
Yeah, you can make a lot of soup at home.
They're not the ones that are going to go and do that.
No, but let's pause.
There's
and
a
think
lot of people like that in Canada and America.
Think about this for a moment.
They like to go to the soup kitchens, and what's going to be happening is the soup kitchens are not going to be getting all this food. I see it all the time that they're crying for donations. So now these people who are less fortunate won't even be able to rely on the soup kitchens. So they have to change their lifestyle. Like last time I went to Wendy's and I got a what the hell is it? Bacon junior cheeseburger. It was like $1.79. I got one the other night. It was like $2.50. And the thing was so small. I was like, really? I could have made a bigger burger cheaper at home.
Right. Okay. So let's just pause for 1 second, because you've made a good point about this buy local. Mm-hmm. So buy local is an awesome thing. And we fully support that at our company. In fact, we will go out and we have teams of people. That's all they do is look for local growers so we can add local to our portfolio. The problem with that scenario is they can't ramp up fast enough. So you think about apples. I want to buy all local apples. I don't want to import anything from the US. And I hate to tell you folks, we import a lot of apples from the US. And so the thing is, how can a local farmer go from what they're producing now to producing more? Think about how long it takes to ramp some of that stuff up. It takes a long time, and it takes a lot of capital expense for us to support that kind of infrastructure. Do I think there's a place for it? I 100% believe that as Canadians, we not only should be supporting it, we should be demanding it. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take capital. And it's like everybody's so busy over here fighting about vaccines. They're not focused on the food security in this country. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again tonight. We are 6 days away at most. If the US border shut down, we are 6 days in this country of not having enough food to feed everybody in this country. 6 days. And that is from when I've been sitting in government meetings. They know it. And so we need to, as a community, on top of investing in crypto and all that sort of jazz, we also need to be thinking about how do we survive if we were ever to be in situations. So a lot of people are growing their own food. They have backyard with chickens and things like that. A lot of municipalities are allowing that sort of stuff so you can have egg production. These are not bad things for us to learn.
Back to basics is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
My wife goes through so many green peppers and red peppers. I'm like, why the hell don't you plant some out in the backyard? You know,
Right.
she's getting 3 of them for like $4. I'm like, really?
Right.
Save those seeds and plant them, lady. You know, like.
And I love this. I love what Marie
Dr. ER
Claude
said,
says
what are you
here.
back for this time, Ken?
And this is a really good point. Marie Claude piped in on this and she said, plus nobody wants to go and work on a farm. If we can't get them to work in a factory where they get a lunch hour and it's in a temperature controlled environment, they're not going out to the fields to pick green and red peppers.
No, that's true.
There was an article in the CBC just, I think it was yesterday, where there was a guy who he had the best corn crop he's a farmer, best corn crop he's ever grown, tastiest, the whole thing. He can't get enough people to help him harvest it. Can't get enough people.
There's your food shortage because it's going to rot.
Yeah.
So
potentially. Anyway.
See?
You feel better?
Some of it'll rot. Some of it'll grow again next year. I see lots of bean fields with, you know, corn sticking out of them. I'm like, what the hell? Guess he missed a cob.
Well, this is where I go back to when we have these crypto night conversations. Crypto for me isn't just about the coins. It's about the projects and about the people and the young people innovating and the technological advancements. And we are going to have to, both governments are going to have to, at some point, look at this and let innovation happen. And they're going to have to find ways to support what is going on as opposed to constantly putting the roadblock up because they don't understand it. We are in serious, serious trouble. I've called it on this day, August 18th.
We're going to remind her. Let's make sure this is recorded, so we will remind her of this impending doom prediction.
But we go back to a comment that was made, you know, that by Trudeau or the current government, you know, continuing the CERB, extending the CERB, you know, building their platform to win, to try attempt to get in a majority. What happens to all of that if what?
I'm reading. You keep talking. I'm reading Ryan's comment.
I thought you were part Italian. I thought you was part Italian there for a minute. It's like, oh God, something's going to come in my ear. What happens if PC or NDP, would they not have to, in order to save the country, continue on with what exactly is in place now?
I think for the short term, I think they would have to. But I think to have a platform that nobody wants, the problem is they'll never win because nobody wants to hear that they have to make some hard decisions. No one wants to deal with it. So they're going to do what the US has been doing for years. Just kick the can down the road a little bit further and it'll be someone else's problem.
Yeah.
But it has to end though. This whole CERB
it has to end eventually.
In by at least 2035, it's got to end. You know, like.
But
why 2035?
I don't know. It just sounds good.
Oh God! Now you're on record.
Now, well, you know what? It just is what it is.
But look at
rehabilitation for them. You know, it really is like they're used to getting money for free now for over a year.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work. Our country needs the work. The work is there. Before there was no work. Now the work is there. The manpower is not there.
Right.
The government got to do something.
Okay, if we go back and we think about the Great Depression and we think about all the shortages, it wasn't just that there was a massive stock market crash. There was also, we had a food shortage because didn't they have drought in the growing regions for a few years there that exasperated the problem, all that sort of stuff. But when people, I feel that the most innovation happens when people are put their test, their back is against the wall and they have no choice but to kind of pull up their bootstraps and go, what are we going to do? What are we going to do to make this situation better? What are we going to do? Right. You know, like, and we've seen that time and time again. Like, you know, I just think that by making it easy for everybody, we're all going to be doomed to not having that awesome, innovative mindset that will help us grow into the coming years ahead. Like, I love innovation. I saw some really cool things that they've got going on with robots now. I think I sent it to you. If you could find it just for a few seconds, if you could go onto your Facebook Messenger while we're on here, I sent it to you this morning. The whole innovation with the robots that they've got going on out of Boston. It's amazing how much technical advancement have happened with these robots. So very soon, if they can get these things under mass production, then we don't necessarily need people to be doing those low-paying jobs. But they're not even low-paying jobs. They're good-paying jobs. They're just jobs people don't want to do anymore. And I don't blame them.
Essentially required jobs, like,
right now they are.
You got to make the food. You got to move the food. You got to feed the people. Like, that's essential.
Yeah, and just like what we showed on Sunday night with University of Waterloo, that has their new Utana bus that drives around the campus. It has 5 stops, and there's absolutely no driver to it. And they're testing it out on that campus. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so Tim's got it up. Are you able to push that and show them? Tim's going to work on that, but that's that whole piece about that innovation. And if we are going to have a labor shortage, then we need to know how we're going to transport goods and services and people from point A to point B in situations where they don't need labor to do it, because we still need to move.
You guys don't see that, do you?
No.
This is really exciting. I'm really excited about this.
Well, good for you.
You put him on the spot tonight.
I did put him on the spot, and then there's dead air while he's trying to figure it out.
I'm not worried about it.
But how do you feel, Mark, about that?
About like innovation, or about the fact that we're just
either way.
Well, I think it's been that way for a long time. I think we've had it. I saw this video earlier too.
Yeah,
I think we've had it for a long time where, there are a lot of jobs out there that people just don't want to do anymore in this country. And we have 2 options. We can either find innovation that'll do it for us by robots, or we have to be able to have selective immigration to ensure that we have people here doing that work.
But when you see this,
hang on. That's interesting that you say that, Mark, because you know what? I think it was a client of mine and stuff, and he says, we've got all these people that come in from other countries and stuff that are doctors, lawyers, engineers, whatever the case is. And is it a matter that we are holding them back from not certifying them to enter them into our workforce as their profession?
I think 100% that is actually happening, that we're actually holding them back. But, it's great to have the doctors, the engineers, everything. We need those people. But there's people that were born and grew up in this country that are trying to become engineers and doctors and teachers and all that good stuff, and they're they may or may not find employment in their necessary field. My thing is that we have a country now that we have probably about 15-20% of the jobs that we're having a hard time filling, whether it's someone working a line to pick boxes to put on a truck drivers, whether it's people in the fields picking strawberries or whatever. You don't have people that are born in this country that want to do that anymore. So
whatever happened to the whole, you do no matter whatever it takes to make ends meet. Like, that's not a common thing anymore.
Right.
Now everybody thinks now it's all about choice.
Right.
For some stupid reason, look at what I do for a living. It pays decent. I give you that, and I get a pension and everything else. But still, it's one of the hardest industries to actually get somebody to do.
Well, for sure. And so that's why we don't say it enough. We're so happy that we have people like you, Ken, that do that stuff. Honestly.
But that's the way I was raised. No matter what, you do what you got to do to make ends meet. And nowadays, it's like, no, I have a choice.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you shouldn't. There's no such thing as a choice, man. You got to make money. You got a family to feed. You got a roof to pay for. And everybody now is like, oh, I got a choice. I'll just stay home. You know,
We're
like,
enabled.
The thing
We're enabling
that
people.
I don't,
Yeah.
the thing that I don't understand
Government
is that the thing I don't understand is that we have every single place I've been to over the last 2 weeks has a help wanted sign. Every single place. There's not a place I haven't been to that there's not a help wanted sign in the window or we're hiring. And so I ask myself, why are there still people collecting CERB? Why? Like, is the government that disconnected? I don't think so. I think the government is buying an election right now.
Yeah.
And what happens after that? Well, who knows?
The new year. See what happens in the new year. Yeah.
I just don't know. It's all. This is why I'm confused. This is why I was confused, but I'm not confused anymore. I am now got our direction as to where we're going. 2 things. Well, 3 things actually. Thing number 1, the Tim Danter. Stop it. He's distracting me. Anyways, that robot stuff. I'm not kidding you. When I saw that and how advanced that is, that would really, 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 really make a difference. I'm even thinking in our distribution warehouse where people have to lift those 50-pound bags of flour and things like that. That's the most heavy that we would have any of our cases. And even that, we've asked manufacturers to not do that. But those robots would really, really help with things like that, truly. Thing number 2, just wanted to give
They always have a chip on their shoulder, though. I don't know about that.
You know what the sad part is? I'm actually starting to get his jokes.
I know.
Next flavor of Kool-Aid is?
Yeah. So the other thing is that this was a tip that Ryan and Haas gave us last week off air. It was really good. If you're interested in buying silver, we actually took the plunge and did that. I know we mentioned it earlier, but the tip that they gave us was use Bitcoin to buy your silver. It gives you a little bit of a discount. So if anybody's interested in buying either the silver or the gold, there's definitely tips for doing this. And I know I would be shocked if Ryan didn't do a video on that in an upcoming video on how to buy it, what to do, all the rest of it. But it really, really worked for us and highly recommend it. And we'll probably dive down into that path a little bit further. So I wanted to give him and Haas a shout out on that because that was really good. And then the third thing is we've got an exciting guest coming on Sunday night.
Don't give it away. So
no, I won't give it away. But it was actually a referral from Ken. Ken, you keep your about it too. And Tim chatted with him last night, and he's a really, really interesting guy. Loves crypto. Loves crypto.
Let's just say I'm glad I put that out there for you guys.
Yeah, no, really good. And I think you guys will all enjoy meeting him. And he's an inventor and has a really, really cool product. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't take the call. So I'm making, anyways. So we're hoping that you join us on Sunday night to meet, what's his name? Dave?
Yeah.
His name is Dave. So we'll hope you will, and he may come on to a Wednesday night to banter with everybody, but he's a really nice guy. Anyways, we are so excited for the week ahead. I think predictions from you gents. Any predictions about where the crypto market's going to go this week? Is it going to be up, neutral, or down? Ken?
I think it's going to go up a bit. I think it's time to start moving back up.
Yeah, I'm predicting Saturday it's going to have 10% gains, and the Jays are going to win against Detroit. I'll be there live and in color.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to the Jays game Saturday.
No, but you really think the Jays are going to win?
Of course they're going to win.
Oh geez. Oh geez. And Mark, you want to give everybody a little update on your project when you're going to start to go live on your show?
I don't have an update on the show yet. I'm actually very surprised. We've been it's been overwhelming, to be honest with you. The amount of people that have already reached out wanting to become clients, so which is great. It's exciting stuff. Now we just have to do what we're supposed to do and pick some winners. So we'll see how it all goes. But I'm hopeful. I have some good feelings about it. Really excited for the start of football season, which is in 3 weeks from now for the NCAA and 4 weeks for NFL. So
is Buffalo going to Texas? Or is that just a
Buffalo,
rumor? Is that just a rumor? Or are they going to play their games? No, are they going to play their games
Bills,
in Texas?
The Buffalo Bills.
No. Where's that rumor coming from?
Obviously not a reliable source.
I don't think so.
That's good. So Mark's going to go.
Almost as good as them playing in Toronto.
That's right. Oh geez. So Mark, you're going to do it at 7 or 7:30 on Wednesday nights. What did you guys decide?
I think we're aiming to come on just prior to your show, so 7:30 to 8, and then kind of join you for 15 minutes and exit off the call shortly thereafter to be participants with everyone else watching the show.
Excellent.
Cool.
So as soon as we get your YouTube channel link, we'll put it into the descriptions of our descriptions. The descriptions of our description.
I love how she's technical.
Oh, hell. Anyways, it was great seeing everybody tonight. I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much, Ken, for joining. I really, as always, it was you were very informative tonight. Mark, thank you. Love having the chit chat with you. And for everybody, thank you so much for watching and participating. As always, we enjoy this. This helps us to stay in touch with the crypto market. If we didn't do this, I think you and I would watch Anthony Pompliano and call it a day. I like Anthony Pompliano. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. See you Sunday night.
Night, y'all.